Going into the New Millennium School, I was amazed at the core values that really are the structure and foundation of the education here. It's really aligned to what's happening in the West. And the important thing is that students are going above and beyond rote learning, and they're really going into active learning aligned to whole child development. I saw this when I was going in the classrooms, I saw this when I was talking to students, and I saw this when I saw the active engagement of students within the classroom. And this is a complete contrast to what we saw when we were touring the government schools and also some private schools in the Kathmandu Valley. It was very different from the rote learning and the really strict discipline that results in students who are almost submissive instead of being active learners. So I'm really hopeful for the work that the New Millennium School is doing. I'm really happy to be a part of it, and I'm really excited to continue this work, not just within the ELA program, but overall with the school.
I would like to just back up and talk a little bit about what Joe said. It was very instrumental for me to be able to see the other schools here in Nepal, so I didn't just get the perspective that all schools are like the New Millennium schools. We were able to see public schools, other private schools, and it was so rewarding to know that I have been working with the New Millennium School for so many years, and to see what you are trying to accomplish across all of Nepal, and that you are sharing that with the public schools, the other private schools. As Joe spoke, he saw and was instrumental in helping expand the innovative curriculum, a progressive learning style to complement your students' achievement in math and science, but expand them beyond that with both their own Nepali language, but also an innovative approach to the English language. And it was very encouraging and inspiring. I would say this time has been an inspiring, very fast week, but one that was completely rewarding. So thank you for having us, and we hope to come back soon.
My name is Brenda Seymour, and I'm very pleased to have this opportunity to interview with you, Pravi. Mainly, I'd love to let the world know about Pravi Regmi and your vision and your wish to advance the education of the Nepalese educational system. So to begin with, Pravi, could you tell us a bit about yourself?
I'm Pirraglia Regmi. I'm founder and director of New Millennium School in Lalitpur, Nepal. Lalitpur is actually a district within the Kathmandu Valley. So sometimes we call New Millennium School in Kathmandu as well.
So Pravi, you are the director and founder of this amazing New Millennium School. So if you will, please summarize or tell us what you personally wish to achieve by promoting and establishing the New Millennium School.
Yeah, wonderful question. Thank you, Brenda. We envision a school that will reach to excellence through higher students' achievements by developing commitment to lifelong learning and critical learning in our students. That's the primary goal. We foresee our school, New Millennium, fostering integrity in our students and positive self-image, social responsibilities, learning habits, independent thinking, creativity, and imaginations. We see all these qualities to develop in our students. And what we understand is the school is all the time committed to give such kind of conducive environment where they feel supportive, where they feel welcoming, and can progress through a rigorous learning. This is another goal that we have at our school. we want to equip our students in global competitive marketplace. They become more international, and they can connect to any part of the world. On top of that, they should have all these human values and responsibilities for all of humanity, nature, and the environment. So it's a whole lot of things in our education that fosters so many aspects of lives on top of the academic excellence. So it's more holistic, more all-around education.
Sounds wonderful, Pravi, and I do see that this is happening at the New Millennium School. I see that the students feel encouraged, supported, and want to achieve high achieving goals for themselves and for the rest of Nepal. So that leads me to another question I have for you.
Sure.
Because I know you've established and done this wonderful job with the New Millennium students and their growth, but you also, I believe, foresee this reaching out to Nepal, the rest of the education of the Nepalese children in the villages, in the cities, and everywhere else. What is your wish and your approach for that?
One of the important things that New Millennium School is trying to be an example of is progressive education. We have achieved much in Nepal's education in last few years. However, the learning and teaching is still more of traditional kind. Students are given so much of information, and that is the whole focus of learning and teaching in most of the schools, both private and government schools. Then making students able to use knowledge, think critically. Many of the schools are based on textbooks, whereas New Millennium School has its own curriculum, its own program, and they rarely depend on textbooks for the development, for the academic things. They bring knowledge from different areas, they synthesize, they critically see the things, and they apply their independent thinking on all of those kind of things. This is something that the other schools should be focusing, and this is what we want to be an example of. So there is a room for collaboration among the schools here. For that reason, New Millennium School and I myself have created a foundation, and that foundation helps a lot of students, and we have 3 schools in the village, and these 3 schools get support in curriculum planning. They also get support in teacher training, and the teachers from those schools can come to New Millennium School and can share our classroom and see how learning and teaching is taking place. And get the processes, the proven processes at New Millennium School back to the villages and work with the students. This is one of the things we're doing here.
This is all so great to hear, because it does seem like Nepal is making headway in their progress, and it does all start
Yes.
with education, and you are at the forefront of it, I believe.
Yes.
So thank you very
Yes,
much, Pravi.
thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Swati, my name is Brenda Seymour, and I'm here to talk to you about a project that you've been working on for, I think, another a few months or maybe a year. So I'd like you, first of all, to introduce yourself.
So I am Swati Tamrakar. I am a student of New Millennium School from the last 2 years, and I have been working in this project with all of my classmates for like few months in the end of grade 9, we were assigned this project, and it is still continuing.
So, Swati, you pretty much answered my question about you're working on the project and how long you've been working on it. I just wanted to know what impact did it have on you, or what do you think that it produced from working on this project?
I've always wanted to help the environment in some way. So our school introduced us with one project named as EcoBrick. It can be a way for reducing plastics in the environment as well as making something useful out of it. It was a very nice way for me to contribute for the environment.
Okay, in saying all this, Swati, I'm thinking of how you could turn this into something for all Nepal to learn from, or how it can follow up with other projects in Nepal for saving the environment through recycling plastic or working with recycled plastic. How do you foresee that could happen?
That may or may not happen. It depends on person to person. Our main job is to encourage others and contribute from our side.
I'm going to ask you, so how do you think this project on the Eco Bricks impacts the rest of Nepal? How about that? Would that help you? How is it? How could or how is it affecting Nepal, your project? I'll say, how can it affect
this project is all about reusing the waste plastics. So it can help the waste plastics to be used in some productive way. We can also make things out of it, and it is very important for the solid waste management in Nepal.
I'd like to have you introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Linebrook Rd. I'm a student at grade 10 at New Millennium School. I've been studying at this school for about 2 years now, and I live in Linebrook. Yeah, I was introduced to this project at the near end of grade 9, and then it was sent to a halt because our exams are coming up, and then it again continued in grade 10. We had a group of students, maybe 20 students, working on collecting plastic bags and then plastic bottles. We were spending about 30 minutes a day compacting all of those plastic into plastic bottles and then piling them up one by one. We collected all the plastic bottles and separated them into one place. Next, our end goal was to create a type of chair. We taped them together into making a circular. Maybe 8 of the bottles were used for it. We stuck it together and then have stuck a type of plywood on top of it to make a type of sitting place on it, and then we'll be painting it in some sort of color to make it visible to the eye.
Michelle, you put the plastic to good use. Do you think so? You think this was a good use of plastic?
Yeah, I think so, because while compacting the plastic, a lot of plastic have been used just to make a singular bottle. Like, the volume has decreased quite a lot.
Very good. So do you think your focus on plastic and trying to recycle plastic or use it for other purposes, do you think this might help other people to become more aware of how much plastic they throw away and how they can utilize it differently?
Yeah, throughout the project, many kids have come up to us and asked, why are we doing this and what's the point of collecting all these plastic bottles? But we have told them that it's for good use, and we're collecting all the plastic from most of the students from grade 7 and above, and then we've told them we're just helping the environment in some way.
So it does sound like you've made a really nice impact on the New Millennium School population. How about for people outside the New Millennium School? Do you think anyone from outside, like maybe when you go home and tell your parents or relatives about this project, that maybe they will be impacted or influenced by it?
Yeah, maybe, because parents indeed have a habit of sharing things with their children. So in the process of doing so, they might be aware about what the school is doing and then tell other or maybe their colleagues about it. Yeah, I think this sends a good message to anyone inside as well as outside the New Millennium environment.
So do you think you completed your goal? Do you think that you have finished the goal, or do you think that you have any outgrowth coming from this project?
It's still in its prototype phase, in my opinion, and I think maybe in a week or two it will be ready.
I guess I'm trying to say, do you see that there could be a follow-up to this project? Like you could take it a step further into developing something else, or maybe as a business, or that it can impact a lot of people and really influence Nepal in general?
Yeah, I think maybe it has a possibility in business. There are many types of business are yet to be explored in Nepal. Any new business opportunities are still being explored. So EcoBrick can be publicized in some way to make it visible to the Nepali market.
Thank you very much. This was wonderful to hear what you students have been working on, and it sounds like you really felt secure or very thoughtful about this project.
So I'm Pramod Sigdal, team leader teacher of social studies at New Millennium School.
Heard that you're working on a project with the 10th grade students and possibly 9th graders on the Eco-Bricks project. So could you please elaborate on that, what you've been doing, and tell us about how that's working?
All right, thank you. So since last year, we have been working in Eco-Bricks project. Basically, that project is to reuse, recycle the waste plastics by collecting them and then fill them in water bottles, and then we can use that for other reusable material later on. So for that purpose, we have started that Eco-Bricks project here at New Millennium School.
So do you think you've achieved what you set out to achieve by collecting recycled materials, mainly plastics, and you've been able to make practical objects using those plastics? So you have achieved that, and do you see it going any further, or have you finished your goal in doing that?
Yeah, it's not completed yet. The first thing that we have been working in Eco-Bricks project, and it's not completed yet. So we are working on it, the first thing. And this project is not only to complete this project. We have initiated it to conserve our environment and then protect the environmental, or we can say the waste management in Kathmandu. So we have started it, and it's not the end. We'll design other projects in upcoming days so that we can reuse them, recycle them, and at least we can be a helping hand to manage the waste management.
Sounds wonderful. Hello, Kapita. I'm so happy to have this opportunity to interview with you today. And I know you play many roles here at the New Millennium School, and I'll be asking you more about that as we go on with this interview, but right now I'd like you to introduce yourself.
Kavita Ariel, myself. I'm here as a program coordinator at New Millennium School.
So, Kavita, as we have said, you play many roles here at the school, but what would you say your most important role is?
I involve in day-to-day activities at New Millennium School that ensures the quality instruction is going on.
I've also heard that you've taken on a new role as an inspiration and a motivational speaker to all the parents, guardians, and all the other people that may be struggling with raising their children, or who are really advocating for their children to become academically and socially responsible young adults. can you tell me more about that inspirational,
Sure.
motivational speaking position?
New Millennium School strongly values that to make a good learner or good human, a good citizen, the students have to be developed in a holistic way. That comes with the emotional, cognitive, physical, and so many others. And in this part, the parents' role is very much important. I very often involve parents how to deal with their children to make them the better learner, a complete person, a confident person. So I give them lots of education with the examples. I share many experiences with them, with parents. And I also tell them, while working with their children in the classroom, how they have performed their behavior in academics or their day-to-day or with their friends. So in many parts, parents are unaware. Probably they know, but they are unaware how to raise their children, how to deal with their children. So I involve parents in such an activity, or sometimes in the training as per need. So this is what I'm doing with them.
And I'm going to ask you, not that quick, Kavita, so I want to know how this all began. How did this evolve? How did you become this motivational, inspirational speaker? Did parents come to you and ask you for suggestions? And then how did it follow up and become what it is today?
Okay. Let me just to tell you, about this. Now, when I started taking the classes, as a teacher with the first grader or second grader, or even in the elementary or primary schools, when I spent my long hours with them, I used to know that they are having some of the problem, in their emotional attachment with the parents, through their behaviors, and that was directly, affecting their learning. And then I thought, let's deal with the child. What is the problem? So slowly I started, talking to our own parents at New Millennium School. And then after I thought and I also found there are so many parents who don't know. And I also opened my, the social apps like TikTok and all those. And from there I started giving the facts how to raise the child and how to know their child. So
that leads me to this next question. So I know you have a platform, as you said, and you work through TikTok and other social media, and I believe you reach out to many, many Nepalese people around this country, of course.
Yes.
But do you have followers from other countries or around the world?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And do you see the parents that ask you questions through
Yes.
Are they similar questions? Are the people that are your followers in the US or in Europe,
Okay.
are those adults or guardians or parents, are they having the same issues or the same questions as the parents here in Nepal?
Yes, basically yes. Because after all, they are parents. Whether they are from the US or India or somewhere else, or Qatar or Australia or in Nepal, the similar, the problems, they raise very similar.
You see the issues
Yes,
being the
exactly,
same, no matter if
exactly.
the culture is different.
Right.
The education and the raising of a child, there's because of our growth, because of a child's
Right,
growth.
because probably the language or color or the culture could be different, but after all, they are children, same children. Their behavior in this, their age level behavior is basically, same everywhere.
Developmentally, we are the same, right?
Exactly.
As children
Right.
and as adults.
And the parents are parents, After all, they are parents everywhere.
Right,
So-
right. So thank you so much for that most profound information, because I think people that hear this you'll have even more followers after this, because people are searching for people to help them with issues with their teenagers, with youngsters,
Exactly.
everyone, and you have been an example of a person that sees and makes do with what happens with the times. So you are following the times, which is a great thing. I hope, Kavita, as you know, I'm from the United States, and I would love parents that I know there that may be struggling. What platforms can you tell them to get into to find your position or your
Okay.
speak?
Let me just share this, Thank you so much for the question. So I have got more than 80K followers, and most of them are from Nepal, definitely. And they ask so many questions regarding their children's behavior, their children's learning activities, and all sort of. So on the basis of research informed information, and we sometimes write them through the text or make another video and then give them and post it. And I also have already given 3 or 4 national television interview regarding parent education. So
So people in the U.S., where would they find you? Or are you on YouTube, or how would
they can
find
find me on my Facebook or the YouTube. Like there are certain channels that's television. There they can find it out, and they can follow me in the TikTok. So
That would be a
Yes.
wonderful thing that I can share
Definitely,
with people back in the
definitely.
U.S.
Right.
So lastly, Kavita, I'd like to ask you something about the progressive approach to education that goes on here at the New Millennium School.
Okay.
And I know you are a promoter of that. So how do you see that impacting Nepal in general? The progressive education here that's going on.
Okay.
How do you see that is impacting the rest of Nepal?
Okay. First, let's share. You already know that New Millennium School values that learning is a never-ending process, and it's the child-centered approach to education that New Millennium School giving to all the children, where students they involve themselves in different learning activities. So they learn all the learning activities through doing it, So they involve themselves and then they learn. So it's a more experiential learning that New Millennium School is doing it. And it is definitely, helping children, so many children, to understand critically, and they are taught how to think rather than what to think. New Millennium School values that. It has got its vision or philosophy and basis of this. And still besides this, there are so many rooms that we have to do it, in the village, the remote areas, and even in the cities. Many of the schools, they try to do it, but still they are unaware of how to do it, how to involve students in such a progressive learning activities. And now New Millennium School is, just spreading. It's like training in the village teachers, in the remote areas, or even in the cities, to so many teachers, so many parents, that they also have to understand what is progressive education and what will be the impact on the children, when they, grow up and they become the good, independent individual citizen. So this is how New Millennium School is doing it.
I tell you, this has been a breathtaking experience for me. So thank you very much, Kavita, for
Thank you so
sharing
much.
all that
Thank
with
you.
me.